a lot of more experience up front now, both offensively, defensively, and special teams. So I think we've grown in a lot of places.
That's C.J. Stroud talking about the Houston Texans now versus the Houston Texans in the divisional round of the playoffs, Saturday, 3:30 in Baltimore. I believe the line is still Ravens by 9. I think some books have changed it to Ravens by 7.5, but per mybookie.ag, promo code BET975, still 9 points. The Texans road underdogs. Fun conversation with DJ Bien-Aimé. We were focusing mostly on CJ Stroud versus Lamar Jackson. I do think Stroud is a much better placer of the football than Jackson. I think Stroud's probably more accurate than the majority of quarterbacks in the NFL and puts a touch on his passes that very few can. And we've said before this week on the show, I think you'd be hard-pressed to find somebody in Houston that wouldn't put Stroud in the top 3 conversation at quarterback among all quarterbacks in the league. DJ brought up Lamar Jackson. Jackson's feet are a big difference maker, but as lame as it is, as lazy as he might think it is, I still think he's got to show that he can make it happen in the playoffs. The Ravens have got to score points, and it could have been all Greg Roman. But in the playoffs, things do get a little bit more difficult. I do think that, to DJ's point, Lamar Jackson's feet are a big edge for Lamar Jackson versus every other quarterback outside of maybe Josh Allen. But I would take Stroud over Lamar Jackson at the end of the game. I would probably think twice before picking Stroud eventually over Josh Allen, because while Josh Allen has chutzpah, has legs, has a cannon, Allen makes some dumb decisions from time to time. I think he's made more dumb decisions in a post-Brian Daboll world. So I'm picking between these two. Sure, I'm biased. Call me biased all you want. But I think I would be taking Stroud over Josh Allen. And then after that, I don't really know who you can even put in the same conversation with CJ Stroud. Tua is out forever. Out. It's over. We're never talking about him as a top quarterback again. Dak Prescott was out already. We're not doing that again either. I don't care what his numbers were at the end of the game. I'm not doing it with Brock Purdy, even if he was an MVP candidate. He's got tons of weapons there. Unfair weapons compared to every other quarterback in the league. He has Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle, and at running back, he has Christian McCaffrey. He also has Kyle Shanahan drawing things up. It's not to say I think Purdy sucks. I just would take Stroud because of his talent over Brock Purdy. Trevor Lawrence, we've been saying Trevor Lawrence is fraudulent in the way he is portrayed for 2 years. We've been doing this for a while. Who even is in the conversation after that? Matt Stafford? I guess if you really want to, you could say Stafford over him, but I'm not going to. I think Stroud's extra mobility gives him an edge over Stafford's incredible toughness.
Yeah, almost too tough.
Stafford allegedly played through a concussion in this game against the Lions. I saw a report about that today.
Like it.
That is not surprising. Stafford might be the toughest quarterback we've seen in recent NFL history.
The NBC cameras caught it, and you could tell Chris Collinsworth was uncomfortable with him just staring at getting hit and just staring at the ceiling of Ford Field.
But it's
for
the playoffs.
A full
I'm
second.
sorry, you can't take a quarterback off the field due to a concussion in the playoffs, no matter how concussed he actually is. Sorry. Player safety only matters to a certain point. Do not let player safety interrupt theater. For the playoffs, this is the most important show of the year. You gotta suck it up on your broken leg.
Well, actually, another Chris Long reference or mention in this show, but Chris Long was talking about with his brother how it was a veteran move of Matt Stafford because again he gets hit. His helmet slams against the turf. He is staring at the Ford Field ceiling for 2 full seconds. And then when he snaps to, he grabs his shoulder, he grabs his ribs. And so he doesn't go into concussion protocol. It's because he got hit in the ribs. And once they were his ribs are fine, he'd back out there.
So funny.
This is such a veteran move of like, I know I just blacked out. Let me pretend to be hurt somewhere else so they don't check my brain.
He's broken his back a couple of times. He's
dislocated his shoulder,
elbow, thumb. Like he is a mangled mess at this point in his career, and maybe Lions fans didn't appreciate him enough. But okay, maybe you can make an argument for Stafford over Stroud. I'm not going to. I'm just not. I think Stroud's got a little extra mobility.
I think the only guys that you can really would put ahead of Stroud without. Oh wait, in the playoffs?
Just in totality.
In total, yeah.
We'll go through the playoffs really quickly before we play a little clip.
Mahomes. If you want to put Burrow there,
I will put Burrow there.
Allen, and then Lamar, and then after that, it's like I would have a hard time. Like those are the
especially
ones
after this past weekend.
Those are the ones where if you put them ahead of CJ, like I'm not going to argue. Like it's not so extreme of a, they're pretty close. Like you and DJ with Lamar, where it's like, well, Lamar doing the playoffs.
Right.
And for CJ or for DJ, it's more like, well, here's why it hasn't happened.
I like Lamar a lot as a passer too. As if you've been listening, going into this year, I was saying, okay, no Greg Roman, let's see what happens. Like I actually was excited for the possibilities of him as a throwing quarterback. It felt like that offense never evolved. There was a problem with the Colin Kaepernick, Greg Roman offense too. Like forget about all the Kaepernick off the field stuff. Kaepernick never grew in that system. He was awesome for a couple of years, and then everyone kind of figured him out, and that seems to have happened again with Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, Greg Roman is very much like making a quick buck off of a mobile quarterback.
Just like Wade Phillips with defenses. Wade Phillips comes in, year after he comes in, defense is great, but it's usually only 1 year. Same thing.
Yes, he was one of the first ones back with Colin Kaepernick to be like, nope, we're just going to use his leg. Yeah. Hey, this guy's super fast. Why don't we call all the college plays that every college team calls when they have fast quarterbacks in the NFL? Because those seem to work. And he did that with the Niners. And then when Lamar gets drafted, he did that with the Ravens. But like you said, it is very much like a boom, I've optimized it for today, and that's it.
Yeah.
But there's no secondary third move off of that helps these guys develop.
100% on that front. So, okay. As far as the quarterbacks in the NFL, guys that we would take over C.J. Stroud, for me, it's just Mahomes and Burrow. I'd hear arguments like Sean for Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson, but I would still take Stroud over both of those two.
It's crazy there's no one in the NFC that you're like, that were even worth putting up as a mention.
Jalen Hurts did not look like Jalen Hurts this year. Like running the football, he was weirdly like contact avoidant. If that's the word, contact afraid. It felt
adverse,
like at times adverse. Yeah, there you go. That's a better way of saying it.
And Jalen Hurts is now kind of in the point where it's so he had 2 bad years and 1 good year. And the good one was Shane Steichen, who almost took Gardner Minshew to the playoffs.
Eagles quarterback way with Nick Foles the first time he was there, and with Carson Wentz and with Jalen Hurts. Right. And they still hate Donovan McNabb, who was their most consistent quarterback ever. Shout out to Syracuse University. Quarterbacks left in the playoffs. It's Baker Mayfield. You're taking Stroud over him. What's the devil's advocate argument to taking Baker Mayfield over Stroud? I do declare my client here, he was high on smelling salts in this game. He was playing the role of a Florida man in this game. We know that my client Baker may or may not be addicted to nicotine with the zins that he has in his pocket at practice. Jordan Love, but I can't make an argument with Southern lawyer Paul.
I mean, Jordan Love's playoff numbers were basically the same as Stroud's, and his regular season numbers were very similar, just with more interceptions.
My client, Jordan Love, Pro Football Focus, had a higher grade than C.J. Stroud. We all know that website is more accurate than what your eyes see. Brock Purdy. Well, Brock Purdy has overcome so much in his life, and C.J. Stroud has clearly not overcome much. I listened to the Colin Cowherd program, and Colin Cowherd told me that he's somebody that has granite countertops and a BMW, even though his father was in prison. And Brock Purdy, he was Mr. Irrelevant, I do declare. Jared Goff. Well, considering what Jared Goff has done, considering he does not know where the sun sets, I believe that what Jared Goff has done with his body is significantly better than that of a C.J. Stroud. Now, you may argue that C.J. Stroud's S2 test and the time that he said that I'm here to play football, not to learn, would argue that he is on a similar level of by the book intelligence as my client, Mr. Goff. But Mr. Goff has overcome so much. So you have to make a devil's advocate argument for all of those guys.
Funny, all the NFC quarterbacks, they're like, man, what an underdog story. And then all the AFC quarterbacks are the 4 best quarterbacks in the league.
Right. That's how it goes. All right. Paul Galancho, ESPN 97.5 and 92.5. There's more praise for C.J. Stroud that I do want to play before we get out of here. It's clear that players respect him more than, I would say, the average fan that's watched football this year, and you'll hear more of that. Colts linebackers Zaire Franklin and E.J. Speed saw C.J. Stroud eliminate them a couple of Saturdays ago, and they are so complimentary of C.J. Stroud. We hope C.J. Stroud doesn't hear this. We don't want him to eat the rat poison, but if you hear players talk about another player like this, I think it really goes to show you where this guy ranks among NFL quarterbacks and how special C.J. Stroud is.
He won't even be looking at the read, and then he got about one more look before it get ugly for him. And then he look at your guy, and you didn't plaster like, got your ass. And then this motherfucker look somewhere else and throw the ball for a completion. You like, nah.
That's what I like about CJ the most.
That's your third read. You know how degrading that is for a quarterback to hit his third read?
CJ don't play them rookie games, bro. I peeped that the first time we played him, though. Like, he don't do rookie like he play like he already lying to you with his eyes. He already lying to you with his drop. He already lying to you with his shoulder movements and little like that. That's some that you ain't supposed to really have to like year 6, 7, buddy. Okay. Whoever your trainer is, slow down, gang. Doing too much.
That last part. Slow down, buddy. Slow down, gang. If you're that respected by players already, it's clear that you're really special. And I mean, there's an element of luck that goes into every single NFL draft. For the Texans to luck into this guy at number 2, it's great. Sometimes you luck into a guy with the last pick of the draft. I guess you could make that argument for the 49ers with Brock Purdy, or in the 6th round with Tom Brady for the Patriots. But yeah, the Texans got lucky here, and I suppose you can hold that against them, but I'm not. I'm happy that this team finally got a just smidgen of luck. It's been a rough couple of years.
Yeah, it's no matter what, like whether you're drafting quarterback, it is a lot of like
you're rolling the dice.
Well, I like these things, don't like these things. It's the best you can do is like an educated guess, where it's like, you know what? I don't think that a tiny quarterback like Bryce Young will work out, but I don't know, it might. Like everyone has a knock on them. Everyone has pluses and minuses, and it's just like Tom Brady, 199. Sure, let's take him. Oh, greatest quarterback of all time. Cool.
But people want those high draft picks because they think they're going to get the next quarterback. And it's almost always loser fan bases who are the ones pushing for this. I was listening to Boston Sports Radio yesterday because now all of a sudden the Patriots are in that conversation. And one of my favorite hosts in the country, Michael Felger, was saying, yeah, the people that are rooting for this are losers. This is essentially a reflection that your organization is bad. And guess what? The quarterback you draft is probably going to suck. I usually say the rookie quarterback, probably not the guy. He said, probably going to suck, which isn't that inaccurate. It's not.
Yeah.
Take a look at some of the top quarterbacks taken over the years, like a Marcus Mariota or, those quarterbacks that were taken in 2011, not named Cam Newton. There's lots of quarterbacks out there that are taken early that stink, and you got the good one.
Although 7 of the 8 remaining quarterbacks were first-round picks.
That is true.
And the other one is Brock Purdy.
Brock Purdy is the other one.
The rest of them, though, first round.
Mayfield first overall. Jordan Love towards the back. Patrick Mahomes 10th. Lamar Jackson, I think the last pick of the first round. Josh Allen, I believe
7th, 9th.
Jared Goff first overall.
Yeah.
Matt Stafford, he's eliminated. C.J. Stroud second.
He was
overall.
also the first pick in the draft.
Was the first overall pick though.
And he lost to Jared Goff, who was the first pick in the draft.
That's true. King of Detroit. Jared Goff.